then we'll proceed. Okay, a very warm welcome, everyone. Welcome to interaction session with Ms. Deepali from CISCO Systems, Bangalore. Deepali, we welcome you. I would like all the participants, those who are connected, please welcome Ms. Deepali from CISCO Systems, Bangalore. You can say hi, you can push it on chat. She's available on chat. I would like to give a quick introduction to Ms. Deepali. She has completed her Bachelor's of Technology from Indira Gandhi Institute of Technology, Kashmiri Gate, which is now known as Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University for Women. In campus recruitment, she was hired by CISCO Systems. Approximately, Deepali, you have to tell me the date and the year when the recruitment has been done. Post that, when she started her career with CISCO Systems, she has got a big project with Reliance Geo project. Geo 4G we all are using. So she is one of the core members among 34 team members, those who have developed Geo 4G. And with Cisco, they have deployed for Reliance. So she was one of the persons. She worked for a year with Reliance Geo product and Geo 4G. So I have known her since then when she developed that product, and we got to have a lot of information about how Geo will work and what are the benefits of Geo, what kind of routers are being implemented over there. So that was a great discussion with her. She stayed at Mumbai for a year, I believe. For a year, she was in Mumbai. She was working on Geo 4G product, and then she shifted back to Bangalore. She has been to various international destinations as well, wherein she worked with international banks at Hong Kong and various places. So it would be great, Deepali, if you can introduce yourself and your experiences. And I would like to introduce you. These participants which are connected with us, these are our summer training participants. Approximately 292 students have done internships and summer training with us during the phase of June and July. And they have been trained on Python programming, they have been trained on machine learning, they have been trained on mean stack, full stack website development, along with Android programming, Java programming, cyber security. And these guys come from this background. Majorly, most of the students, most of the interns are from BTech background, along with they are from second year, third year, and final year. So these are like the hot piece of technical people available, those who are ready to get hired in a couple of years. So you can introduce yourself and we'll continue from there.
Hello, everyone. So I think my introduction is already completed. So let me cut it short. My name is Deepali. I graduated from IGDTUW in 2014. I got selected in CISCO in 2013. And I recently went to IGDTUW for the recruitment for the MTech and MCA students. And this is not going to be a speech session or a lecture session. I would like to be it more kind of a question and answer session, because based on your questions, I can share my experience and I can help you in your field so that you can pass through the phase you are in currently. So anyone who wants to start with the first question?
So guys, you can push your questions on chat. I'll repeat your questions and then we will have a discussion on your questions. Deepali, I would like to ask a question. Since I guess you have graduated from Indira Gandhi Institute of Technology, I would like you to share with us your experience when you were in college, from first year to fourth, final year. What all experiences you had and how you identified that Cisco is the right company for you and the profile you will be glad to work in the similar profile. How you identified that because you were a student at that point of time and getting involved with the company, started working on projects. So I would like you to share that experience with all the participants.
Yeah, so back in 2013, I had the same dream that we all have always, like getting into the best option that we find in front of ourselves. So that time Cisco was the highest paying company in my college, and my aim was to get into Cisco. So the aim was very clear, and it is not like I got into Cisco very easily. Before getting into Cisco, I went through a lot of company interviews. I went through TCS interview where in my batch there were around 250 students, and almost 230 got selected into TCS, and I was out of those lucky 20 left ones who did not make it to TCS. So what I would like to say you is, not one company can judge your caliber. You always have to push, and you always need to check that what is the right direction. I mean, we all put efforts every day, but sometimes we do not put it in the right direction, and that's why we do not get the desired results. So getting into Cisco was something. When I worked on my aptitude, I worked on my networking skills. My project was done from Hackveda, that was building a new operating system. And the main thing is, when you go in an interview, whatever is there in your resume, even if it is one line, you have to stand through it. You have to explain it properly. And if there's a cross question, you should be able to show your, like if you have mentioned an on Android development app or a Java app, or maybe an OS project, whatever is there in your resume, you have to explain it to your the one interviewee who is interviewing you. And it will be very good if you have your mobile or your laptop handy at that time, because recently I went to IGIT for the recruitment. I've seen a few of the students have prepared an app for the election, like they would want to help elders so that they do not have to go to the site and wait for the voting. They can wait at their home, and they will get to know when the line is less. I mean, there are very less numbers in the queue, and then they can leave for the election booth. So it was a very basic app. I mean, it was only a display, not much, but the person who was showing that app had it handy. So I could relate that, okay, she has worked on it. So that is something very important. And whenever you go for an interview, you have to be prepared with all your work that you have done. It should not just be on paper. So it should be in your mind, and it should be on your desktop or your mobile. So that is very important.
So, Dipali, one more question I would like to add on here. So, what are the differences? There was a time you were a student at IGIT, and there was a time you have gone for recruitment in your same college. You are an alumni of IGIT as well as you are an alumni of Hackveda as well. So, I would like to ask, when you were student, what all references you have used to prepare your aptitude, as well as one for recruitment, what kind of aptitude skills, soft skills you are looking among the candidates? So if you can share with us.
Yeah, so during my time, my aim was to get into Cisco, and but there were other students as well in my college who were preparing for their MBA. So they had an upper hand on aptitude because they used to practice it day in day out. So that was one of the reasons I was finding it very hard to get through the written exam. Although when it came to interview, I had a very good profile, but for written it was very difficult. So for you, what I would recommend is you can rent the time material from any of your friends who has taken classes from time, or you can maybe buy it by visiting the time institute, because they have really good questions in aptitude. So I am using the same material that I used 5 years back. I have used the same material right now as well. So it has good aptitude questions, and it will make your life very easy to pass the written. And now what is happening is most of the companies are coming with the simulated coding questions. So the last question is always going to be the coding question. In that case, you have to be you need to know the hands-on. So you have to practice your code always, because the code is going to be very basic. It will have a few very small logic of maybe data structure, but the tool, the simulator that is going to check your code is something that is going to make your life very easy if the code is right in terms of syntax, semantically, and if the code is proper, the logic is fine, the number of lines are less in code. So a code can be solved using 10 lines and it can be solved via 2 lines. So a two-liner code is always preferred. So that is something you need to be very, you need to have hands-on experience for the coding question. Also, you need to find, first you need to have to do some homework, like which company you are going to appear for. So when I went to IGIT for 2 days during this recruitment time. So my first day was presentation and telling them about Cisco and asking them a few questions about Cisco. So when we asked what is the basics of Cisco, what do we do? So someone said semiconductors. So, you should know which company you are appearing for and you should know what that company does. And after that, once you know that, okay, maybe Cisco has two, three, you know that you're going to appear for Cisco, you should know that what are the two, three products that Cisco works on day in, day out basis, like WebEx, you would have used it, Jabber. So if you will name these terms, then it will have a very good impression. Apart from using it, that is a different thing. Even if you've read about it, it is going to give a different impression to the recruiter. So that is something you should know which company you are going in, what is the profile, what is the job responsibility that the company is providing for those candidates, and you should try to hit on those points. So that is very easy. So always take care of the quantitative and qualitative, that is aptitude. Using time material, you can do that. I have referred that during my time. And you need to have the hands-on coding skills. You need to simulate the programs. You can go to Geeks and Geeks. You can find many interview questions which are there, and then you can start practicing those. And third thing is you should know which company you are appearing for and what that company does. Fourth point, very important point, is your project that you're going to mention in your resume. The first, I have seen many resumes in the past few days. So I see that people have written 4 to 5 projects in their resume, but they were not able to explain even one of them in a very well manner. It was very theoretical, whatever they were explaining. So theoretical knowledge is not important at this point of time when you are giving an interview. Whatever you have done should be reflected properly. So the programs that I have seen, because I went for MTech and MCA, and the MTech program is majorly for security. So I have seen many of the programs that the people mentioned that they have completed ethical hacking course, they have completed Android course, and when I asked them that, can you explain one of the hacking method, they were not able to explain. So they were not, even I remember few terms from what I studied 5 years back, like SQL injections and phishing attacks. They were not able to say that as well. So whatever is there in your resume, you have to stand through it. That is the main important thing. So I think these 4, 5 things are very important.
Okay, buddy, that's pretty impressive. So, guys, as you all know, time material will really help you out in order to get started with aptitude. And I'm speaking to time as well. I will be collecting some latest material from time, and I'll be introducing that material to all of you so that you all can prepare well for your aptitude, because that's very important. Along with aptitude, your soft skills, your communication skills are very important today. Be it because in industry mostly citizen programming is used. Okay, citizen programming, as you all know, it's like an interface based programming wherein you are going to have a drag and drop interface available, and your code is going to be auto generated and the product is going to be formed. So if you are if you are an average in programming, or if you are an average in coding, you can still learn it, but your communication skills are very important. So you all should be working on live presentations. You all should be working on recording your presentations, recording your code explanations, and all that stuff. You should start from today itself, because that's going to help you a lot when you go for an interview. Your confidence will be reflected, as she has already told you that whatever hands-on you have implemented, that's what is majorly important. Written questions will be asked. If you have the appropriate aptitude towards the company, if you have the appropriate aptitude, your understanding towards the aptitude, you'll be able to sail through. But when it comes to interview, most questions will be relevant to your project, and your project, you should have done your project hands on, and that's what is important. Okay. So this is one important thing, as you all got to know. Apart from that, you got to know about time thing. Now, Deepali, I would like to ask one question here. You have said that the guys should be comfortable in programming and they should be able to understand data structures, algorithms well. I would like to ask you, considering Cisco, which programming language is mostly preferred when it comes to Cisco systems?
Yeah, sure. So I will come back to this question. One more point I want to add to my previous point is it does not matter from where you are doing your we always try to run behind DRDO, GAIL, ONGC, these governmental organizations, so that it will look good on our resume. But no, that is not important because we do not mention. I see that many of the people who have just built the apps, they have done a college project. Maybe they have taken help from somewhere, but they have not mentioned anything from where they have done this. They have only mentioned the title was the name of their app and what they have done in that app, and that was their project. So the institute does not matter, the amount of knowledge matters. That is one very important thing. And now coming back to your question related to which programming language is preferred. So in Cisco we work on C, C++, Python. It all depends on which department you are in, and during the interview, to crack the interview, any language will do, until unless you know the logic. Because for example, I asked a question that write a code to check whether this string is a palindrome or not. So irrespective of it, if it is written in the C, if it is written in the Python, that one liner code that identifies if it is a palindrome or not, the logic. So that was important, irrespective of the syntax. So we do not look for any one language, but you should know the logics and any one language of your choice properly. So until unless you understand that, it is fine.
That's great. That's great. So, adding to this question, I would also like to ask, since we have been interacting from quite many years. Initially, I remember when you started working with Cisco, you started developing some scripts for network operations using Python programming language. Hope I'm correct. And before that, when you were at your college, you have already done cybersecurity. Your profile, you have done networking along with cybersecurity. You have also done Android programming, I believe, when you were in college. So, what was the first programming language which you have learned in, and was it useful when it is compared with your career at Cisco? So the first programming language which you learned, and the most relevant, as we already know, you told C, C++, Python. So I would like to share that if all these people, what kind of language they are learning in today, because C, C++ is available from 12th onwards. Then in first year of engineering, again C, C++ programming comes into existence. Most of the colleges have now introduced Python programming and Java programming as well in second year and third year. So how relevant is it to learn that language, or should they focus on any of the specific language? They should work out on data structures and algorithms, and then they should prepare them for aptitude. And adding to this question, I want you to answer one more thing. In which year, what kind of preparation they should do? Let's say if they are in first year, so should they prepare for basic programming? In second year, they should go for data structures. Third year, they should go for aptitude. Then they should apply for internships. Then they should apply for placements. So what should be the process along with programming languages?
Okay, so coming back to the first question, I started with C++ in class 11, and I was working much on C++ till the second year. And then I think on from third year, Java started in BTech program. And then my first app that I built was in Hackveda. That was the Android app, so we used Java. And in Cisco, I started with Python. So it was a complete different shift. But when you understand the logic, the syntax does not matter because you have enough help on the internet and the institutes that you can start reading the syntax of. And Python is a very easy language. So when it came to the shifting in the languages, it was very easy for me. So yeah, I started with C++. Then around the third year and fourth year, I practiced Java and the Android programming because I wanted to build an app, and that was one of the main projects that I have displayed during my interviews. And third, we shifted to Python because we mainly work on routers and switches, and it is very easy to run a Python program for on routers and switches on the iOS, the software image that we run. So that's why preferably we use Python. And coming back to the second question, how we should, on what phases of college, what we should study. So first year, I think we do not study at all, but we have to study the subjects that are in the BTech for the first year. And we should not overpopulate our mind, I believe. We can go through a course in summer or something. If we are very much interested in any of the course, then it is fine. We can join or we can study anything that interests us during the first year. The main thing starts from the fourth semester, I believe, because if you want to get into a good internship, which Qualcomm, Microsoft, Cisco, and all other big companies are providing, they start hiring BTech folks from the third year. I mean the second year, end of the second year, they come for the internships, and then third year they come for the final placement. So your work starts from third semester, the beginning of the third semester, because the company is going to recruit you at the beginning of the fifth semester for the internship. So in that, by during that time, I mean the second year, you need to start working on your aptitude questions, and it will not take much of your time. I think 1 month of preparation for aptitude is more than enough, and that is to get through the written exam. And second thing that you have to do, you need to understand what your peers are doing, and you have to be one step ahead of them, because when you are sitting for the interview, you are sitting with those 80 or 100 folks which are shortlisted. So you have to be better than them. You don't have to be best out of best in the world, but when you want to get to a company, you have to be one of the best performers in your batch. So when you are in second year, you have to read a lot about aptitude. You have to get through your programming skills, because companies are very much interested in programming these days, because we everything is going towards services oriented, and everything is going on cloud. We need to automate many things. That's why they are focusing on majorly on programming languages, and any language would be fine, preferably whatever is there in your course, so that you do not have to shift from your course and you don't have to put double the efforts, like my course is getting lagged, my preparation is getting lagged. You can mix all of those and get through it. And I think during second year that will be enough, and it will be a normal. If you are sitting for the interview for internship in the end of your second year, that is beginning of your third year, then you are definitely going to have an experience, and that is going to be an upper hand, because if the company recruits you for 2 months, suppose Cisco takes people for internship for 2 months, then you have those 2 months to perform when you are in Cisco campus, and there are high chances that you will be given the pre-placement offer. So if you prepare yourself very well in the second year, then third and fourth year journey is already done. You will not have to do anything. So similarly, the second year and third year efforts, performance, and everything is going to be the same, because second year you have to appear at the beginning of the third year for internships, and at the beginning of the fourth year you have to appear for the main recruitment, the placement. So both the efforts are exactly going to be the same, but because you have completed 1 year after you have completed second year, when you are in third year and for the main interview, you can make more complex apps and you can display them, which will have a very good impact on the recruiter. Because what I have seen is mostly the technical recruiters are going to be from the technical department of the company. So they will understand their role very well, and they know what they want. And mostly, if you will make your resume somewhere around the automation and the programming, it is going to have an upper hand. Also, when you are appearing for a company, like if you are appearing for Cisco, it will be good to have keywords like networking and those basic keywords, so that a recruiter will not think that this person is completely into programming. He does not know anything about networking. So it should not be like that. You should always have that breadth, and you have to make one thing in your depth, so that you have that strong hold on your depth. And for breadth, you have that confidence to talk to the recruiter and get through any of the questions that he's asking. You should not go entirely blank. You should have some idea about the question they are asking. So that is going to be a good help. That is going to give you a good help for achieving this. And coming to the question that Trishul has asked, what is the major difference between the learning in college and that of in a company? Yes. So whatever, when it comes to coding, whatever you are going to learn in college is definitely going to help you in company, because the logics, the data structures, the databases, uh, creating a website, everything that you have learned, you are going to show that knowledge in your company, and you are going to extract opportunities from that. So when it comes to coding, it is really going to help you. When it came to networking, my knowledge was very much theoretical, and I will say very basic, very basic. So I mean, when I read that in college, it is not going to help me in Cisco. But yeah, I would know what is a router, what is a switch, what is a ping command. Those small things I will know. So when it from my level, it will help me. But when I go to the company, they have their own training programs. As soon as we join, we will be trained for at least 3 to 4 months, and then those 3 to 4 months will bridge the gap that is there between a college fresher and someone who can face a customer in a company. So you will be trained for that. Once you are selected, they know you can be trained, and they will guide you once you are in the organization. So whatever you are studying in college, when it comes to coding, it is definitely going to help you in your uh, uh, hands-on in the company. But whatever theoretical you are studying is going to help you get through the interview and get into the organization. So getting into the organization is very important. After that, you can select wherever you want to go within the organization. There are multiple teams: the security, coding, engineering, services, professional services, support services. You can get into any of those, but entering the organization is the main thing. And
Deepali, I would like to
yeah,
add one question here. So, as you said, entering into the company is very important. So, as there is a common conception when it comes to interview that for a fresher recruitment, companies are mostly interested to ask about data structures, logics, algorithms. Mostly, their questions are based on this stuff. What is the knowledge of the candidate with respect to data structures and with respect to algorithms, along with there is the second phase of this interview process, wherein new technologies which are trending in the environment, they comes into existence. So I would like you to put some light on this fact that whether a student should be focused towards data structures or algorithms, or else he should be focused towards what all new technologies are coming in, and he should be developing products on that stuff when it comes to fresher recruitment.
yeah. So when it comes to fresher recruitment, it depends on you. How do you plan to your interview to go? I mean, you have to plan your interview in your mind. Whatever you will write in your resume, you will take your interview towards that side. So the basic mindset that recruiter has is, this student is from third year. I can ask him what he is studying. So they will go into the normal data structure questions and these kind of questions. But if you have mentioned something like you have done a project on data mining, you are doing something else, you have done a project on machine learning, you have done a project on artificial intelligence. So these are the new technologies that students have started putting it in their resume. So the interview will go in that direction. If you have mentioned those projects, then those things will be discussed. But yes, definitely, whatever you have studied in your course curriculum in your BTech, that you have to know. If they ask any question from that, then you should know. They will not go into very complex programs. It will be very basic, but they judge you more on your analytical skills, how much you can think and how well you can think about a problem. So they don't want the answer. They want to see the approach, if you can be trained or not. That is the main thing they are looking for. So, yeah, that would be my answer on this.
So Dipali, I would like to take the questions coming from students now. Let me just quickly have those questions.
I think start from Pankaj.
Yeah. Yeah, so there is a question from Dhirendra Kumar first. Ma'am, I'm pursuing BCA from VIPS. I want to ask whether I have to start job after my BCA or I have to do MCA. Like after BCA, companies are not providing developer roles, so I have to start or not. Should I repeat the question?
No, I can see the question. Okay, so I have recruited people from MCA. I do not have much information on if companies are actually recruiting people from BCA. So, from my personal experience, what I have seen is Cisco, you have to get through BCA from a good, you have to get through MCA from a good college so that good companies can come and recruit. The main thing is what companies these days are looking for. Few companies have the tie-up with the colleges for the internship programs. So if you can get into a college that already has some integrated program with the companies where they will provide the internship, that colleges will be good to shortlist for your MCA. But yes, I believe post graduation will help. But I'm not very much sure about what opportunities you'll get in BCA. So for MCA, I have seen. For BCA, I do not know much.
Yeah, so doing MCA from a good reputed college, wherein companies are already having some integration program related to internships, only you should apply them. Otherwise, in case if you are going for a regular development kind of profile, then you can also start after BCA because major startups are looking for BCA professionals. And it's not just with respect to your degree, it's with respect to whatever amount of knowledge you have, as she already said. So if you have great amount of knowledge with respect to a specific technology, with respect to programming, then you can start your career any day post BCA or being into BCA also you can get started. But if you are looking for a service kind of opportunity for you, if you want to work with a big company, so you should be focused towards those colleges wherein already internship programs are available with respect to companies, and you should prepare for those colleges, and if you get selected in those colleges only, then you should continue with MCA. Otherwise you should I believe you should skip and you should get started with your programming career ahead after BCA. So the very next question is, we have got a question.
I think from Chavi, there's a question that our BCA student also recruited at Cisco. So, being a girl, it will be very good if you have not completed your post graduation, you can do it from IGIT because IGIT already has a program of 6 months internship with Cisco, and you can very easily get into that because the for BCA, I think the batch is only 25 students. So you will be competing among those 25 students. And if you are among top five, then it will be very easy for you to get into that.
Okay, so there is a question from Pankaj. Is there an option to apply for fresher in Cisco?
Yeah. So yes, how to apply for fresher in Cisco using the off-campus drive. For that, you have to be 85 percentage. 85% you need to have an aggregate, I believe. Okay. That's what I've heard for off-campus drive, and for on-campus it is 80%.
Okay, so Shresht is asking, is it right now possible to apply for Cisco through off-campus drive?
Yes, it is possible. You can go to the Cisco website and you can check what are the locations where Cisco is organizing the off-campus drive, and you can definitely apply to it if you have 85 percentage aggregate. And in case you do not have, the better thing would be if you are very much interested in networking, you can try for Arison or any of the other networking companies, the services-based companies like Infosys, TCS, Arison, Accenture, Wipro, and Aruba Networks, because if once you get into the organization, you can easily shift, because once you have 2 to 3 years of experience, your percentage will not matter. matter much when you are applying to a different company. So it will take you through a longer route, but eventually you will reach with the people you started with. I mean, the best college hires from your campus, you will be maybe in the same position or a better position after some time, maybe after 5 years or 6 years down the line. But getting into the organization of your interest is very important.
Okay. So now Abhinav Kumar has asked, is Cisco using any cloud services? If yes, what cloud services Cisco use?
Yes, a lot of them, they are going through a lot of IoT products. One of them I would say is SDA, SD-WAN, and DNA. So SD-WAN is software defined WAN automation, where any of the WAN connectivity, that means the branches, the campuses of any of the banks or any of the customer enterprise network is connected to the service provider, and anything that is going to the connectivity, the traffic flow, anything that is going to happen between the branches, campuses, the enterprise networks to the service providers, the cloud, it is going to happen through the software defined networks. So there are a lot of technologies that Cisco is planning. You can go to the Cisco website and you can actually see for one of those cloud services if you're interested in that. And yes, there are definitely many teams also which are working on it separately. Like you can get into the collaboration team. They are coming up with a lot of new features like WebEx, and it also works on data mining, and there are many other services as well. So you can just get into this the website and you can have a look at it.
Okay. So there is one more question from Abhinav Kumar. He is asking, is Cisco hiring policy includes only regular famous colleges, or they also recruit from correspondence students like IGNU also, Indira Gandhi National Open University?
Okay. So I'm not sure which course you have done from the IGNO, but as far as I have seen, Cisco goes to the tier one colleges, which are IITs and IITs, and tier two and tier three colleges, out of which few of them you will know, like IGIT, VIT, and there are many colleges in South India like PESET, MS Ramaya, and there are many colleges from which Cisco recruits, and they are not hiring anyone from IGNU. I mean, as far as I have heard, but if you have completed a correspondence, you have completed your course via correspondence, you can definitely do your post graduation from some other college, which has better opportunities. That is what I can say. Or you can, if you are already in an organization, you can try through lateral hiring to get into Cisco.
Okay. So next, Dhirendra Kumar Chaudhary has asked, after BCA, big companies like Deloitte, TCS, Wipro, they are providing associate analyst roles. So I have to start job in MNCs, or I have to start with startups. They are providing junior software development engineer or assistant SDE role. I mean, starting with development role with startup is good, or should I start with an MNC?
I am really not sure what associate analyst is going to do in Deloitte TCS Wipro, because this is a very um, generic title, I would say, because you will not know what the person is actually doing when they are joining the company. But if you are very much interested in coding and you know that there is a SDE role that is available in the startup, it will be very good to start with a startup. You will go through those challenges at much earlier phase of your life, but do try for companies as well, because once you get that exposure of 2 years from a startup, it will be better to get into a company and understand how they work, and then you will be in a better position to decide what do you actually want, if the startup environment suits you, or if the MNC, you prefer MNC culture more. So it completely depends. Once you have experience, you will be the best person to decide. But since from your question, you know that you are getting the SD role, it would be better to go to a startup company. And it
So,
also depends on your pay. So what pay you are getting in the startup in the beginning, I am not sure what is the package that you're getting. But if you will shift from a MNC to a startup, your hike will be a lot more, as far as I have seen.
so Trishal is asking, we do study data structures, but what is the correct approach to apply those data structures so as to throw in?
Okay, so very basic example that I could provide you is 2 3 days back when we went for the recruitment. I gave a series that started from 9 and ended at 1 98765, and I asked the student to sort it using the quick sort. So they had to write a program. That's where it integrates the data structure and the programming. So you have to write that small code which will sort. So that will give the your acumen of the data structure, because you will know that it is the worst case of the quick sort, the descending series. It is the worst case of quick sort. You will know that how to sort it. You will know the logic, and then you have to program it. So that is somewhere it will integrate the data structure and the programming thing. And one more thing is, when you are sorting, they can ask you the complexity as well, complexity of the problem that you have solved, and what would be the best complexity, what would be the worst complexity. So that all you need to know when you are appearing for the interview question.
Okay, so the next question is from Shresh Mehta. What careers are supported in Cisco other than networking? Is web development is available at Cisco as well?
Yes, yes, yes. There are multiple teams. I'm falling short to even name them, because I don't remember. There's so many acronyms used in Cisco. So a few examples I would give you is, there is an engineering team. They actually work on the iOS, the software, the operating system, and they would code for the for the protocols to run on the iOS. That will be something like the backend. And for the web development, yes, they are creating a lot of tools which definitely needs web IOU for the users to use it properly. And there are many teams which are actually working on it. Cisco is not only about networking. Cisco is moving towards services, and there's a lot of automation that we are aiming to do in Cisco, and we are actually using many automation tools which are built in Cisco or acquired by Cisco. So yes, you have a good chance of web development role when you're planning for Cisco.
Okay, so Diwali, I would like to ask one more thing. What role these corporate certifications play under recruitment? So let's say we have a pool of 200 students, those who are certified from Microsoft on Python programming, they are certified on Java programming, they are certified on cyber security, they are certified on networking, and a couple of more technologies. So, is there any credits or is there any importance in the eyes of a recruiter if a person is certified from an international certification?
Yes, there is definitely, it is definitely important. If it is there in your resume, it will make the recruiter ask you the questions on what you have done in that domain, and it will stand out from the other folks of your batch. So that way, it will give you the upper hand. The only challenge here is, if you are writing the certification name or any of the technology name, you need to know it. You have to know it. That is the only thing. But if you are mentioning any of the certificates that you have achieved from the bigger organizations, or if you have done anything that stands out from your batch, then it is definitely going to help you. It is definitely going to catch the focus of the recruiter.
So now Trishal is asking some of the project ideas on which we can work so as to make our profile better with respect to Cisco or with respect to any of your experiences, if you would like to suggest.
With respect to Cisco, what I have not yet seen in any of the resume is, none of the person who appeared for the interview has ever logged into a router. So it will be very helpful if you can create a program that how will you SSH or telnet to a router and switch. The moment you do that, you are selected, because that is something that we have not yet seen. People are still doing the main problems of, I mean, they are still into the data structures, the basic coding, the sorting, this, that has always been there. But to stand out, if you know you are appearing for Cisco, that's what I was saying. You should know which company you are going to sit for, and then you know that they already work on routers and switches. They have deployed it in a lot of organizations and a lot of service providers. And if you are capable of writing a code to access one of the devices and to maybe push one small command in that device, that is definitely going to make you stand out of it. So you can see for the technologies that other companies are working on, like Microsoft might be working on any of the new software or any of the technology that they are planning to come up with. You can just take the idea from the companies, the whatever they are displaying on their websites, and you can start a small code on that. It will impress them a lot.
So
So
I am
that,
glad to let you know that mostly majority of the students, those who have done summer training with us, they are comfortable in using these technologies like SSH, PuTTY, and they know how to configure firewalls, they know how to connect the remote servers, and not just one single command. Actually, they know how to configure servers, and they know how to configure web applications over there. They have designed end-to-end product deployment. So there are many of the students those who have done that stuff. So guys, I believe you guys are on the right track. So it's not just one technology. You need to be collectively aware about how that end-to-end product formation has to be done. Moreover, as she has already said about the project ideas, so a lot of products are coming into advertisements, into marketing from various different companies. So if you visit these websites, you are going to automatically see the ad-based products which they are displaying it over the social network. So you are going to get a lot of idea from there as well. So, Deepali, I am glad to have this. I would like you to any of the special tips which you would like to give them as a fresher, so that they can feel motivated and they can get started in the right direction, so as to reach out to the best career options they can.
yeah, one thing I would say is getting into a company should not be your focus. What your focus should be, you should try to understand what interests you, because I have seen people who know from the second year of their life, college life, that what they want to do. And one of the best examples that we have is Mr. Devanshu Shukla, because he knew from his second year that he wants to get into ethical hacking and he wants to work on that field, and he did not work for any of the companies, and he started his own venture after he got graduated. So you will definitely get successful once you know what you want to do and what interests you. That is very important. Now, the second question is, how will you know if it interests you and if it is going to work for you? Because it might interest you right now, but after 2 months down the line, you'll be like, oh, what is this crap? I want to try something else. But to know that, you have to get into that. So you will not know about something until you start with it. So the first thing will be to sort the things that you want to work on as of today. Make a plan and get into those. Once you're not finding it interesting anymore, get it out of your path and again sort whatever you want to do. Definitely, you'll get to know what interests you, and that is something that is going to make you successful. The happiness in your work, because once you are into something that you really like, you're not going to stop, and then results will come. So that is something which is very important. You need to understand what interests you. That is very important.
Okay, so Diwali, as we all know, when it comes to a large company, a lot of people work on a common project. So I would like to introduce these guys. I would like you to introduce these guys. What all agile methodologies you guys are using, and what is the importance of working in a team, and how these remote teams connect to each other, what all skills they need to have that collaborative environment when it comes to their profession. So is that collaborative environment important? what kind of agility, agile methodologies like Scrum, Scrum Master, what all things are available at Cisco, which these guys should know so that they can do themselves, and they should become a remote workforce, as well as they should be able to work in a collaborative environment in a large MNC.
Yeah, I think it is the most important thing. And when we recruit people, there is a separate tab, there is a separate column to check their, to rate them based on the teamwork criteria. I do not know. I ask two and three questions and I try to understand if the person is suitable for a teamwork. But yes, organizations definitely look for team players, because what it does is when you are connected, you will know what other person is doing, you will understand their mistakes, you will understand their experience, and it will help you in completing your work in a shorter time, because you will already have that knowledge, have that experience. You don't have to start with everything today. If that is the case, then build your own computer and start working. Why are you taking the computer also that is there in the market? So you do not have to start everything right from the scratch. You need to learn from your team, the people who have already done it. You need to get that knowledge, put in your intelligence into it, and come out of with something else. So being connected is very important. Cisco is all about getting connected with people, networking. Networking is not only the normal networking layers we talk about. It is actually networking with the people to make uh, to to make the people collaborate more. So that is the most important thing. And working in team will definitely help you in your growth, because you will know what other person is doing, what mistakes he has done, what am I doing, how I can guide others. So you if you want to be a good leader also, you have to make sure that you ensure, if you have done something, you broadcast it, that you have done this mistake or you have achieved this, this is how it can help you. So it is very important. Do your part, be connected, and then you see the result will come. So it is very important to work in a team.
So the last question, would you like to share any of your experiences about life at Cisco?
Life at Cisco. So yeah, I can share my journey. So I joined Cisco in 2014, and as soon as I joined, so I got selected. They confirmed me that I'm selected, but then they put a clause that I have to complete my CCNA certification before I join the company. And if I'm not CCNA certified, they will cancel the offer letter. So that was one of the that was the first challenge that they gave us, and it was for all the people whoever was shortlisted during that time. We completed our interviews, we were selected, we were given goodies, everything was done. But after that, if we do not complete CCNA, we will not be able to join in the campus. So that was the first challenge that we got. But after we joined the campus, the people, the culture, it is very good. Everyone is there to help. There are many trainings. So as soon as I joined, I've been through CCNP training after that. And then we were trained separately on the service provider and the protocols, routing protocols, how they work, because we were trained for 2 months to get into the Reliance Geo. And Geo was building that time in 2014. We were still building the network. There were many sites that we were deploying. We were traveling to different places, setting up, checking if everything is working fine, what is the basic connectivity. So as a college fresher, it was very much onto my brain to understand all those things, because the service provider network and all this, these are very big things when it comes to learning. So, but given that opportunity, not everyone got it. Out of 500, only 10 people were selected to get into Geo. But life there at 2 years gave me a lot of experience. That first, what I have to do, I mean, in Geo 2 years, I was part of the operations team. So the main in operations, people had humongous knowledge about the network and the networking protocols, but there was not even a single person who knew Python. So I knew at that moment what I had to do to get through this. And when there was only one person in the team who could code and 100 seniors in the team who were networking, there the person who was doing new and was coding was valued a lot more than the other people who were there in the team. So you always need to see what is needed in the room, what they lack, and you have to work on that. So I got into Python. I worked on Python for 2 years. So what I did in Python is I was given a server, I used to run scripts. So they would be about the basic health check of the complete network. There were around 50,000, 1 lakh nodes. And in the morning, as soon as I enter, they want to know that in among 1 lakh routers and switches, what went down and what failed at the hardware level. And because Reliance will definitely know that what is the problem, what problem has happened, but they would want Cisco to tell that what has happened. And if we already know, okay, this has happened and we are working on it, it gives a different impression. So it is called a proactive approach. So we started working on it. So that was the main task I had. So this is just one example of scripting that I have given you. There were multiple scripts to check protocol level issues and many more things. So that way, Reliance was a big contributor in my role, because since the network was we were just the network was just coming up, it was not in the production. There was we could easily log into the routers and switches, we could try and test our protocols. We were given large number of devices to test, so we got that opportunity to work on the devices, which in the enterprise network you will not get, because in bank network you're not allowed to make changes without taking permissions from maybe 10 approvers. So that was the level of access we got in Reliance when we were in Reliance. And then second thing I realized when I was in Reliance is Mukesh Ambani is very rich. And so a person can be so rich, and he's also human. He has also achieved so much. So even we should get inspired from it, and we should do our bit to maybe level up. And that is something I understood from my experience in Mumbai. And then after that, I got into the one of the banking projects, and that is the complete enterprise setup. And there, we day in day out, we need Python scripts, maybe small scripts, to solve our task, because we know it is going to get repeated. So why would I repeat it? I am a BTech computer engineer. I will know, or I'm a software engineer, I know how to build a script. I will not do this 100 times, rather I will run my script which will do it 100 times. So that's what we have to bring in the industry. And Cisco has many programs. They have incubator kind of programs where you can start your own startup. They will fund you, you can have your idea, you can start working. There is enormous support, and it is not only with one company. It will be there with Google and Microsoft, I would say. They will also have all this. And so you have to work on that. Once you know that you what interests you and you're hardworking, you will get through that. So companies will support you a lot in that. So that was my experience. And then I was given a training for CCI as well. And we were trained for many cultural development programs, because we have to interact with many clients which are sitting somewhere else in the world. We have to understand what they are talking about, and we have to communicate properly. So we are trained on all those things. And one more thing I would tell you is, when I was recruiting in my, they gave us a paper where we have to rate the students out of 5. What is it? Unsatisfactory, satisfactory, average, uh, above average, and excellent. So that was something we had to give. So we had to, so I would tell you in technical, the columns that we had were data structures, coding, networking, and technical skills. And one more option was there. I think there were 5 options to test. And apart from that, one was communication skills, one was teamwork, and analytical skills, critical thinking. So these are also few things which matter. So I recruited one of the person from IGIT this time. She did not know much about networking. She did not know much about programming also. She was very average in terms of academics. But the way she was talking, she was a published author in Morning Tea. I think there's some website or something where she puts her articles. So she was very good in communications. With communications, she was excellent. I thought she could train people that how to communicate. So she had that in her, and she got selected because of that. So you need to have that one skill that will differentiate you from the others. So that is very important. That's what I have learned from my 5 years of experience. And there are always people in the company to help you, to mentor you. And not only in the company, in wherever you go, like if you are getting trained from Devanshu sir, you will have him, you will have Yash sir to explain you what you can do and how you can achieve. Because people who have already gone through that phase are the best ones to tell you what mistakes they have done or what good they have done and what you can do. So it is very important. So, yeah, that is all about my journey.
Okay, thank you so much, Deepali, for being available and interacting with all the participants of Actveda. And we would be grateful if you can share more insights in coming months and years so that all these young kids gets directed towards the right opportunity. And I would like to request all the participants to give a loud applause to Deepali, those ever who are available online. Thank you so much for being available. And Deepali, please keep connected to all of us so that we can groom them well and we can make this workforce a smart. We can build this workforce as a smarter workforce so that they can land up into industry and can develop good things and can make better products and make human life easier. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, everyone, for being available. Yes.
One last thing I would say is try to plan your 5 years goal, which is going to be your long term goal, and try to prepare your 1 year goal. Because until you have a goal, you will not know where you have to go. Make it your goal, the temporary goal, the short term goal, try to achieve it, and it will definitely guide you to where you have to be ultimately. So, yeah, that's all from my side.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for being available. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any of the questions, if you guys would like to post, you can post your questions on your Trello cards so that we'll organize another session wherein we can address all those questions, as well as those people who are connected with us online on YouTube. If they are watching, they can post their questions over comments so that we can read those questions and we can bring out more such sessions so that we can share industrial insights with you from the industrial professionals, those who are doing pretty good in the industry, as well as along with the resources and everything we are here to provide you. Thank you so much for being available. Do visit hackweather.in to stay tuned with all these things. Thank you so much.
Thank you.